Have you ever wondered why people, even the educated, struggle to think critically? Well, I'm Beyonce, and today we are going to let you know why.
Imagine university graduates, 4 years of lectures, degrees, and classes, and then one scroll on social media and they forget everything. No second thoughts, no fact checks, no evidence. This is the troubling reality we live in today. Education alone does not guarantee clear thinking. People can hold impressive certificates and share thoughts based on emotions, assumptions, and not evidence. Critical thinking is supposed to mean thinking clearly and asking questions before making assumptions.
We all agree it's important for national development and personal development. But here's the paradox: even educated people struggle to use it in real life. So, if critical thinking is so important, why do so many graduates find it so hard to practice?
So my name is Abu, and I would like to talk about critical thinking. Follow me and let's talk about it. So what exactly is critical thinking? Critical thinking is the ability to think clearly and logically about information before accepting it is true. It involves four key skills. Firstly, analyzing information objectively. This means looking at facts without letting Western bias affect your judgment. Again, evaluating evidence carefully. Not all information is reliable. This means that you should check evidence or sources to verify what you hear or what you see. Thirdly, we have to identify assumptions. Sometimes assumptions may not be true, and critical thinking helps us to uncover them. Finally, reaching logical conclusions. After we have examined all facts, we make decisions based on the reason, not guess. In simple terms, critical thinking is not just about knowing facts. It is about using knowledge in a thoughtful and rational way. Good day, and once again, my name is Bright Abu.
Hi guys, my name is Lordina and today I'm going to talk about why education does not guarantee critical thinking. A lot of people assume that if someone is educated, that person can automatically think critically. But that's not always true. Having a degree or qualification doesn't grant a person to think critically or make good judgments. One reason for this is charismatism, where people valued certificates over real understanding. In places like Ghana, people's opinion or mindset are accepted just because they are coming from a highly educated, without checking the evidence. Robert explains that critical thinking is both skills and attitude. Schools may teach students how to pass exams, but not how to be open minded, curious, or willing to question ideas. Carol's mindset theory explains this. People with fixed mindsets are not willing to question themselves, whilst those with growth mindset are more willing to learn from mistakes. You can see this in universities, on social media, and in politics, where educated people spread misinformation or defend weak agreements just because of their beliefs. So, education is important, but itself alone is not enough. Critical thinking takes both humanity, continuous learning, and the courage to question our minds and other people. So, this is the reason why education does not make someone think critically.
Hello, I'm Joel, and we are here to talk about the educational barriers. Let's get into it. So, too often we tend to reward students for producing results instead of analyzing ideas, right? That's rote learning. Cram, produce, and just pass the exams, then go your way. As a result, students may pass the exams but then fail to think critically. Education usually focuses on what to think instead of how to think. So what then is the result? Most of the times we graduate people with who are great at passing tests, right? But then they fail to think critically, struggle with complexity, nuances, and struggles basically when it comes to solving real life problems. If we don't fix that, we are not educating. We are just training to solve trivia basically.
Hi, my name is Bofah Dorothy, and I'm here to talk about the paradox. Despite the importance of critical thinking, many people still struggle to think critically, and this creates paradox. How can someone be highly educated and still believe in misinformation, make poor decisions, or rely on emotions instead of logic? Well, the answer is simple. Education and critical thinking are not the same. Education gives us knowledge and information, but critical thinking teaches us how to analyze, question, and evaluate that information. A person may know many facts, but still be influenced by personal biases, emotions, and assumptions. This shows that having knowledge alone is not enough. What truly matters is the ability to think carefully and objectively. Therefore, to make better decisions and avoid misinformation, we must develop critical thinking alongside education. After all, education tells us what to think, but critical thinking teaches us how to think. Therefore, knowledge is power, but critical thinking is the wisdom to use that power correctly. Good day. Once again, my name is Bofah Dorothy.
Let me take you through some psychological and cognitive barriers. Cognitive and psychological barriers are mental obstacles that affect our ability to think clearly, reason logically, and make sound decisions. These barriers often occur unconsciously and can prevent us from evaluating information objectively. These are systematic errors in thinking that influence our judgments and decisions. For example, confirmation bias. This occurs when people focus on only information that supports their existing beliefs while ignoring evidence that contradicts them. Overconfidence. Some people overestimate their knowledge or abilities and become unwilling to consider alternative viewpoints. This can lead to mistakes and poor decision making. Understanding cognitive and psychological barriers is essential for improving critical thinking. By recognizing these barriers, we can make more informed decisions, evaluate evidence more objectively, and develop better problem solving skills.
Social influence also plays a role. People intend to respect authority figures and may avoid questioning them. From childhood, we have socialized to obey teachers, lectures, parents, chiefs, pastors. In Ghana, we hear don't question elders. That habit continues in university. So even graduates accept their lectures or bosses' idea without questioning them because questioning feels disrespectful. That kills critical thinking. That is why critical thinking is hard. Education gives facts. Socialization teaches you how to behave with these facts. In your social world punishing question, even the smart people will avoid it.
I'm Peter, and I'm going to talk about the solutions to these problems with you. So, how can we improve critical thinking? First, education should focus on discussion, debate, and problem solving. Second, students should be taught about cognitive biases. Third, we should promote intellectual humility and openness to new ideas. And finally, media literacy is essential, especially in this digital age. Now, these steps can help individuals think more critically. Thank you. My name is Peter once more, and these are the solutions to these problems we've talked about.
Hi, my name is Francine Dieu-Merci. I'm here to talk about why education does not guarantee critical thinking. It is important to know that knowledge is not the same as critical thinking. A person can have degree but still lack the ability to evaluate arguments. Some educated individual becomes overconfident and resist new ideas. Others lack intellectual humility, the willingness to agree they may be wrong. So without this quality, education alone is not enough. Once again, my name is Francine Dieu-Merci. Thank you.
In light of all what we have said, critical thinking is essential for both personal growth and societal growth. Why is that so? Because It helps us to make informed decisions, solve problems effectively, and also prevent us from getting misled by false information. However, critical thinking does not only develop through education. A person can be highly educated, yet still fail to question assumptions or analyze certain information carefully. We must learn to ask questions, evaluate evidence, consider different perspectives before reaching conclusions. Therefore, if we want to make a better society, we must go beyond educating people. We must encourage and teach them to think critically, independently, and responsibly. By doing so, we can create communities that are informed, innovative, and capable of addressing the challenges of the future. Thank you.